All right, folks, hello again. I thought I'd come and show you some of our finds. It's been some of the best finds that I've ever made down here. It's been really spectacular. So we're at Charmouth. These are all of the cliffs that you can see behind us. This is where all the fossils come out of, and we've been finding some spectacular things, including this rather incredible set of Ichthyosaur Vertebrae. I mean, this is some of the best that I've ever found down here. A beautiful set of vertebrae. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 and a little bit on the end there, and you can even see it's got some of the ribs still attached to it there as well. So we've got a fabulous sea dragon find. Oh, sea dragon? Yeah, when they started collecting these fossils from here, you see this is a large ichthyosaur, often referred to as a swimming dinosaur, even though they're technically not dinosaurs. But they would collect these up and down here, these large marine reptiles, and they referred to them as sea dragons. You can still go to the Natural History Museum and see the Hawkins Collection. The Hawkins Collection was mostly made up of these creatures from here at Charmouth and Black Ven, which were collected by Mary Anning, put into the collection and ended up at the Natural History Museum. And you can see still written on there was sea dragon written on them. You see, dragon was just the name that people used for dinosaurs before they invented the name dinosaur, which wasn't until 1841 by Richard Owen. And Richard Owen called them dragons before and after he actually invented the name. So a wonderful sea dragon set of bones there. Okay, so sea dragons are obviously swimming creatures, and we've got our fair share of swimming creatures from around here. Lots and lots of ammonites as well, as some fabulous creatures, including, we've got another bit of ichthyosaur rib bone just there as well. So a lovely bit of dinosaur bone. So lots and lots of swimming creatures, lots of ammonites, the curly whirly ones, lots of other things. And then we end up with this right here. A lovely bit of fossil wood. Now, fossil wood and sea creatures, you're looking at evidence of a flood. Wherever you get sea creatures and wherever you get land plants buried together, you're looking at evidence of a flood. What is a flood? A flood is water where water shouldn't be. Right? We've said this many times. If you end up, bursting your kitchen tap and the water spills out all over the floor, you've got a flood in your kitchen because the water belongs in the sink and not on the floor. It's quite simple. So you're looking for evidence of water being where water shouldn't be when you're looking at evidence for a flood. What about the rocks here that you can see sort of behind us? What evidence do they show? Well, number one, they are cram-packed full of fossils. They're absolutely full of marvellous fossils from all around here. So one thing you know for sure, whenever you find fossils, you know that it's been buried very quickly. It simply has to be buried quickly because fossilization has got nothing to do with time, but everything to do with the process. So if you want to get fossils buried in these rocks, you need to bury these rocks very quickly indeed. That's point one. So these rocks here were buried quickly. How were these rocks buried? Well, they've been buried with seashells, they've been buried with giant swimming creatures like the ichthyosaur, they've been buried with land dinosaurs like the Scelidosaurus, and they've also been buried with land plants. So you are definitely looking at evidence of a big flooding event. A flooding event which has swept over the land, caught up all of these plants and these land creatures, brought them into the sea and buried them very quickly indeed. No doubt about it. Okay, how big are these beds? Well, we're on the Jurassic coast. Now, did you watch our creation conversations last week? We dealt with the letter J, including the word Jurassic. Jurassic? The rocks just like the ones in the Jura Mountains. You see, these rocks here are not just found here on this location, and you can see they kind of go all the way behind me. There's Golden Cap down at Seatown, and they go all along this Jurassic coast, so it's a fairly big flood even if it just covered this south part of the UK. But they don't. It goes up to Wales, it goes up to Yorkshire, it goes up to Scotland, it goes all the way over to the rocks in the Jura Mountains and around the world. The flood that produced these Jurassic rocks here was the same flood that produced the rest of the Jurassic rocks all over the world, and they all exhibit the same evidence. They're all buried with lots and lots of land plants and marine creatures all buried together. So we've learnt quite a few things on this trip, and we've covered quite a lot of ground, including how fast fossils form and everything else. But just remember, our most spectacular find for today is this wonderful set of Ichthyosaur vertebrae. And it's by no means the only ichthyosaur find that we've made today. If I just pull out my little bag here, we've got another little one just here, lovely little set. And we've got one that I excavated out of the rock. It just needs a bit of work cleaning it up, but there's a nice one there as well. We've done pretty well. It's been one of the best finds from this area that I've ever done. We've got a whole rucksack full of rocks and fossil plants and fossil trees and ammonites and everything else. So it's sort of it's just past 3 o'clock. I've got to get all the way back down there to Charmouth and back to my hotel, but I'm coming to Lyme Regis tomorrow for our very last day of the road trip. So we'll catch you later, and hopefully again the video will be out this evening on time, and we'll show you some more of our wonderful fossils.